Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a good day today. Good trading day, a good Monday. We had a couple of opportunities out there. I wasn't looking for much in the move or fresh moves because when I was looking at the scanner this morning, I really didn't get excited about what I saw. But there were just a couple of stocks that I was looking at, kind of left over from last week. AAOI that's been paying me for the last 7 or 8 days. I was looking for it to continue making the move. I think it's halfway between a move, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. Tesla, I think I figured out, or I thought I figured out where I went wrong last week when I traded it, but ended up getting the same result this week. But that's fine. I'll get it. You got to fail a couple of times before you get it right. That kind of goes into what I wanted to share with you today. I shared this morning for the morning show, but on YouTube, the sound was off. Every time this upgrades, I don't remember to go back and reconfigure the audio for this open broadcaster, and I didn't do it this morning and didn't have any audio. So I'm going to share the message here, but if you've already heard it and you don't want to hear it again, you can always fast forward. But the key is, and just like I was saying, it's okay to fail. 85% of traders allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire for success. So our fear of failure in trading, we're scared because we're going to lose on the trade. And that's normal. It's okay. That's part of the process. It's part of the learning process, and it's part of the ongoing process in trading, just because of the nature of our industry and our profession. So that's why I say anything worth doing is worth doing badly. And I know that we've been taught just the opposite. We've heard anything worth doing is worth doing well. But that doing well part assumes that we know what we're doing. Anything that we do it well, but if we don't know what we're doing, it's going to be very difficult to do it well. And knowing that failure is a part of success and doing bad is a part of success, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. But we as new traders and even intermediate traders, we know that it's worth doing badly until we get it right. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things wrong. And I know I go back to, using education as reference all the time, but, that's just from being a teacher. But think about when we were learning how to write. We had to learn how to write the parts of the letter, and sometimes we would write the letter wrong, or we would write the letter backwards, just like you see this N right here. Sometimes we would write letters backwards, and we'd have to start over because we had, that's just part of learning. When we were learning how to read, we would mispronounce words. We would really just tear up sentences. But it was worth doing it bad so that we can get to the good. And that's the same thing that we have to understand in trading. It's worth doing it badly to start with, but you have to trust and believe, and you got to be disciplined and stick to the process. You have to make discipline a priority, because really, this isn't a profession. This is a discipline. trading is a discipline. So just think about that this week. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly in the beginning. Now, if you get stuck on bad, then yeah, there's something wrong. There's a disconnect somewhere. But we should be learning from our mistakes. And if we're not learning from our mistakes, then it's time to get a new teacher. All right, so what I was looking at this morning on AAOI, and really for the last couple of days, I mean, we've been trading this whole pullback. For the last 7-8 days, I've been trading the same stock. And really, it started as a look for a swing trade, but the moves were so solid during the day, I couldn't pass up day trading it. And there's some days like this day where I didn't do well. This was Friday of last week. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, this was Friday of the week before last. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, Wednesday was the big day. You see the big volume spike? This is where we got the big move. And then here was Thursday, where we tried to recover. We bounced off of this. And this was predictable. This wasn't predictable. This one was. And they had all the signs of, a bounce here off of the 50-day back up to, testing these levels here. So this day was predictable. This was a, rejection back to this line here last Friday. Now I was waiting for it to show me that we were going to lose this 50-day. We couldn't lose it. You see, we were just kind of basing here. Now today, I was looking for possibly a push-up and retest and then a sell-off. And I was looking for it to close below this level. Now this morning, this was at 44.40. Today at close, this actually climbed to 44.67. So the 50-day moving average is moving up. And, but the 20-day is coming down. So in the last, we're still on this, within this 20-day pullback. So the 20-day moving average is going to continue down. This, I'm going to start looking for it to flatten out. And I'm looking for this to continue to move down tomorrow. Now, you see the volume has gone out. We're trading below 2 million shares right now. But it's still decent enough volume, to get the moves that we're looking for. Now, this is becoming more of swing trading type volume. Over here, we had some good day trading volume here. These 2 days, this day, these days was pretty good. But the volume now is probably not going to be conducive unless we get another push up in volume here tomorrow. It's going to be a lot slower moving. Should continue to follow the trend, but be a lot slower moving. So this morning you saw, this is what I saw. I was looking for it to, pull back or, a pop to retest this level here. And then it to start fading off. And I was looking to catch the fade. Now I was out. I wasn't in front of my computer, so I had to do this on my phone. And I had to use my ability to read price action. Because on my phone I didn't have any indicators. I only had level 1 data. So all I could do was look at volume and price and the candlesticks as they form. So I was able to trade solely off of price action. And this is what we went over in class on Saturday. Well, actually Saturday before last. And I challenged everybody to try and trade without using technical indicators, to just try and read the price action to determine whether you can figure out when you're going to get a change in direction on the stock, when you're going to get a pivot. And I traded Friday on my phone, because I was away from the house and I was away from my computers. And again, Friday, all I did was use price action. And you saw how smooth my trades were. So let's look at today. Oh, let me go back. Another thing I wanted to point out to you before we look at the chart from the day. The reason why I'm trading this, and I've been getting asked this a lot. Why am I trading this and we're on low volume? And I like to see at least 50,000 shares traded per 5-minute candle. Now this stock, for it to be a $44 stock, or at the time when I started looking at it, $60 stock, it had a 17 million share float. Now, this is a low float based on the price here. So this low float stock it doesn't take much volume to move this. So I could trade this with lower volume and still get decent moves. Look at the ATR on this, $3.63. Solid ATR. But today, here's one of those days where we only moved 22 cents. We only had a 22-cent move, and it's measured not from the top to the bottom. It's kind of measured from where it opened and then where it closed. That's what that 22 cents is. But on an average, this thing moves $3.63 a day from high to low. And this is going to give you good opportunity. You have a lower float, but it's trading on lower volume. So it's going to trade similar to a $60 stock that has 100,000 shares of volume per 5-minute candle. Even though it has low float, it's got low volume, so the volatility is not there. It's not going to jump around as bad. And it's been a pretty easy trader for us for the last 7-8 days. Now, yeah, eventually this is going to run out, but I see a huge move here. I see a huge move between here, and this doesn't show it. But let me go back, see if we can see this. We got a huge move on deck right here. That's what I'm looking for. And there's no reason why we can't get that in a day if we get some selling volume. But you can see today we traded pretty much as average daily volume. 1.3 million. So we'll be looking to see if we get some more volume come in. RSI is still, it's still not oversold yet. So we still got some work to do before it gets oversold. All right, so here's the trade from today. And you remember I was looking at it to go up and test this level. Well, it kind of did. It pulled right back. And then we couldn't break over the 200 here. So then we started to sell off. Now, what I wanted to do is let it sell off. And then I wanted to short the bounce on a retest of these levels. But I couldn't get in. Like I said, I was on my phone, so I really couldn't get in and nail it the way I would like to here. I was just kind of using the price action. So I got in. We did get a little pullback again, and we started testing these levels. But eventually it cracked. Went red on the day. And so as soon as I noticed that we were getting a shift, that's when I got out. So I didn't predict the bottom, but I waited until I got some indication that we were starting to turn around and bounce. And sure enough, I took it all off here. We got the bounce. Well, again, being in the same position, I didn't get a chance. I couldn't really get in where I wanted to, but I did get in. It was a little bit later, but still a decent entry. And I wasn't risking off of this. I was risking off the red to green line. And got back in, shorted it here. And this time, I didn't take it all off. I took half of it here. And then as we started to recover, I went ahead and took the rest off and said I could always reshort on a retest and fail. So I was a little bit late getting in, which is typical trading mobile. So I got in extra late this time, and I actually got in on the bounce. So I was a little bit off on, kind of what I was reading. So ended up covering, and this was the one stop that I got stopped out on. And here is where I got in again off of this retest. Actually got in here and didn't see my order go through. That's what happens sometimes when you're using the mobile app. The order executes, but it doesn't show up. So I ended up getting in again here, and I was actually in double my position. I was in 600 shares, but my average was, let me see, my average was 44.26, because this was the 1301, and when I never did see it go in, I went ahead and got in 300 more shares. And then I didn't see it because I was still in this when I got home. So when I got home, I logged in and I saw that I was in 600 shares. Took half off here when we started to bounce. And once the other half was set at 10 cents below break even, so that I could cover my commissions on this trade. So everything I got here would be pure profit. The rest would be what covered the commissions on all the trade, plus a couple of dollars. But that was that trade. And 307.29 on it, wasn't a bad haul. Another day where we got 300 plus bucks on it. I think there's been five or 6 days that I've gotten over $300 on this one stock. And yeah, it'll still be on watch tomorrow. All because, again, we closed below this 50 day. We closed below it. And so tomorrow, if we open below it, we may get a push up. I'm going to wait again, because see if we get a push up and a rejection of this level, and I'll get short and look at holding it all day. Because I think as long as we're on low volume, we're going to get a slow move down. And then I'll look at jumping in a swing position as well. All right, now on Tesla, I said the same thing this morning on Tesla. What happened last week was I waited for all of this. Waited for the pullback. What it is, I got in a little bit early. I got in and then we got a pullback. So I was looking at, because we had this big gap up, I was looking for a pretty big sell-off here. And a sell-off down through these moving averages, and then I would catch a bounce and take it long. Well, it didn't happen. We only got a slight pullback to these moving averages, and then the stock ran up. So I was like, okay, I gotta wait for a pullback. So I waited for the pullback through these moving averages. Jumped in here, and you can see the stock never really took off. Never really got the legs to push up, and I had a hard stop on it. I wasn't watching it. I was in the meeting, so ended up getting stopped out here. Now, had I been watching it, I would have stopped out here. Once we tried to break this, a triple, almost like a triple top on this level, and we couldn't break it, that was a clear sign to take this trade off. And, had I been here, I would have done it, but, I was mobile, and it bit me. I mean, it did pull back, and it did try to push up through here. It just never did. Never was able to come back and retest the daily high on this. But as you can see, it was only a 102.49 loss on it. I managed my loss. That was the max loss I had on this. I gave it $2 on my 50 share position, and stopped out according to plan. So no problem with it. There was one more trade. I can't remember what it was. It just lost my mind. But I had trouble getting in it. The platform was not allowing me to take a trade. Even though there were short shares available to short, I had plenty buying power. It kept rejecting my order. Kept canceling my order. So I fooled around and played with it, and I eventually got in and got stopped out. But in the meantime, I was working with Suretrader and trying to find out, what was going on. What could I do to prevent this from happening again? And, obviously it was on my end, so they say. But the surprising thing is they took care of the trade. So that trade was a scratch. Because I had the issues in it. I didn't have to fight with them or ask them to do anything. That was just something that they volunteered to do. So, obviously that made my day. So, pretty solid day all around, other than this Tesla. Ironically, this was a long trade. So I'm 0 for 1 in longs this week. But, that's probably going to be par for the course for me. Because somehow I'll develop into a short bias trader. So that was it for my trades today. Don't forget about the morning show. I've got the volume and everything set up right, so if you catch me on YouTube tomorrow, you will be able to hear me. But if you want to come in the classroom where we have everybody that I'm inviting into the morning show, just come into the classroom. All you need to do is go to AverageJoeTrader.com, click on the morning show, and it'll take you right there. And make sure you join us this Wednesday for our Sneak Peek Wednesday. You'll be able to hang out with us for at least 2 hours. Sometimes it may be 3, but for at least 2 hours you'll be able to come in and hang out with us. Also, real quick, we are starting another day trading class next Thursday. The one that we're doing on Saturday is going along real well. We've covered just about all of the fundamentals. We're going to start looking at some trading strategies now. Hopefully those guys are still practicing trading without indicators, trying to learn and read the price action using the volume and the price candles, trying to understand why these stocks are moving and trying to realize that, trying to understand what emotion is moving the stock. Because when you look at a chart, it's all human emotion. That's what you're reading. You're reading human emotion and how we are interpreting what that stock is doing. And once we get a good understanding of that, we're able to read that, then we'll be able to trade freely. And we can use the indicators as just an added guide for us. So that's all I have for today. If you want to ask me any questions or reach out, Ed at AverageJoeTrader.com. That's the easiest email to get me at. And I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So have a great night, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow in chat.